Hey guys, this is Ashwin John, and today we'll be looking at finding the limiting reagent. And now, if you just look at this question over here, we can see that we're given 3.25 grams of NH3 and told that it's being made to react with 3.5 grams of O2. They are asking us to find the limiting reagent and the grams of NO formed. Okay, so when I first see an equation like this, and when they don't give us the chemical formula, the first step is to find the chemical formula. And I just want to say that I hope the terminology in this question is easier for you to understand after I have given you the definitions for limiting reagent and the excess reactant that remains. Okay, so starting off, finding the chemical formula. So the chemical formula for this reaction would be 4NH3 plus 5O2, 4NO plus 6H2O. Now I realize that I've already balanced this equation here, and if there are those among you that do not know how to balance equations or chemical equations, I'll be happy to make another video. Just leave a post. Now moving on to actually finding the limiting reagent, what we do is find the number of moles of NH3, and for those of you that do not know, we use the formula N is equal to M over MR. N is the number of moles, M being the mass given, and MR just being the molar mass. So, finding the number of moles of NH3, we are told that it's 3.25 grams, so that's the number of grams given, and the MR of NH3 is simply you just have to look at a periodic table, and well, the MR of nitrogen is 14 plus 3 hydrogens, so that's 14 plus 3, so that's 17, give or take a few milligrams, and we are given 3.25 divided by 17 is going to be 0.191 moles of NH3. Now let's move on to the O2 over here. That's our second step, really, just to find the number of moles of O2. So we told that it's 3.5 grams that are given, divided by the molar mass of O2. So we have two oxygen atoms with the molar mass for O being 16 grams. And 2 times 16 is simply just going to be 32. 3.5 divided by 32 is 0.109 moles of O2. And now, since we have the two number of moles of the compounds that have been given to us, we need to compare the mole ratio between NH3 and O2. So that's our third step, really, the mole ratio. So it's I'm just going to rewrite the equation here just to make it seem a bit more easier to understand. So, well, we just put the coefficients here. NH3 has a coefficient of 4, O2 a coefficient of 5. And well, we need to simplify this to make it in a format that is just 1 to something. So 4 divided by 4 and 5 divided by 4, which is going to be 1 to 5 over 4, and 1. So the number of moles in one molecule of NH3 is simply just going to be 0.191, and that times 5 to the power 5 over 4 is going to be, give me a second, my calculator is not the best, 0.239. So from this we can deduce which is the excess reagent and which is the limiting reagent. In this case, NH3 is your limiting reagent because it is a fewer number of moles. 0.239 is greater than 0.191. So we have found the limiting reagent in this case, and it is going to be, so this is ticked because it's NH3. Now we need to find the number of grams of NO formed, basically what we do in this case is, because we have the limiting reagent, and this is exactly why we find the limiting reagent, we use the limiting reagent, and as we can see from the chemical equation here, the ratio for NH3 to NO is going to be 4:4 for the ratio from NH3 to NO, and that can be simplified to 1:1, so we do not have to do the same thing here. It's going to be 0.191 moles, 0.191 moles of NO. Now it's the simple matter of just substituting into the mole formula, which is N is equal to M over MR, and so you just substitute N for 0.191. They give you the mass. They're telling us to find the mass, so we just leave that as X or M, whichever you prefer. MR of NO, well, you just need to consult your handy periodic table, and that will tell you that it's the molar mass for NO is simply going to be 30. Now cross multiply and you get approximately 5.73 grams as your mass, or X in this case. So 5.73 grams of NO formed. That's your answer for question B. So we're done with that. 5.73 grams of NO formed. So really, just follow my steps and it'll be extremely easy for you to find the limiting reagent and to find the number of grams of whichever compound you need within that chemical equation. Once again, if you guys would like another video on balancing chemical equations, please just leave a post below and I'll be happy to get to it. Thank you, everybody.